having a little fun, doing a little jamming, just because I can. Finding a backing track that works. Hope you didn't mind me indulging. This is about how to play lead guitar, and that's probably a little bit of how to play lead guitar, isn't it? Well, so we are going to, sorry, I'm going to move this camera. Sorry if I'm getting you dizzy. Put it right over there. There we go. Cool. So how y'all doing out there in YouTube land, Facebook land, Instagram land? I don't know, wherever the lands that are broadcasting this. I don't know. There's a whole bunch of them. So I don't know who's all out there. So glad to see you. Glad that you're able to be part of this. If you're watching this afterwards, after this live broadcast, welcome. I'm glad to have you here. It's always good to be able to teach and show you guys some things, and hopefully this will make sense. What I decided to do here was to how to play lead guitar. I've noticed out there in the interwebs land that there's been a little bit of a demand or a lot of questions asked about it. And I don't think this is all about wanting to be the next Jimi Hendrix or Eddie Van Halen or Eric Johnson or Stevie Ray Vaughan or whomever. Insert your guitar hero here. Although some of you may aspire to be that, and that's awesome. But also some of you might be just be fun to do, right? Just be fun to play. I mean, heck, I just grabbed a blues backing track E minor on YouTube. I don't even know who did this, some guy. And it worked out, right? And I just sit there and I'm just playing. I'm just making stuff up, right? I'm just making crap up. And because I know my scales, I know I've been doing this for well over 40 years. So I've got done quite a bit of playing. Lead guitar is usually, if I get hired for something, that's probably what it is. Probably not strum the acoustic. It just isn't. I'm typically hired on to play lead. I'm either put a track down or do a gig. I do play to church and whatnot, and that's generally what it is. And not that I don't mind the other stuff. I actually love picking up the acoustic every once in a while and just strumming. I mean, it's fun to do that kind of stuff. It really is. I mean, any type of guitar playing is really, really cool. But lead is kind of where it is when I was a kid, and I always wanted to be the best lead guitar player ever. Well, life got in the way, kids, family, that kind of thing. And those things were far better, by the way, but I'm still able to do this. Right. And, so this is, I'm going to probably do a few parts of this. This is going to be we're going to cover everything today because I can't. So there's a couple things, and there's a take home I'm going to want you to do after we do this. All right. So we're going to spend a little time on part one, and this is the fundamentals. The thumbnails show that this is more of a fundamentals type of thing. Without the fundamentals, you're kind of lost. You're going to just sort of be scrambling, trying to figure out how to play stuff. So we're going to talk a little bit about just getting into the basics. Some of you guys might already be there. You might be able to even chime in and let me know on some stuff that, some techniques and things that you've picked up along the way that have helped you. Because that's really what this is all about. I know how I play, but the question is, how well do you want to play? How good do you want to be, or what your goals are? What do you want to do? All right, you want to just be able to play some notes and just jam with your friends, or you want to, do what I did, put on a backing track. You just want to play. Maybe there's a certain solo you'd like to learn. You're all in a different place, and but it all got to start somewhere, and we got to start at the beginning. And we're going to talk a bit just basic technique. And then I got a little take-home thing for you that it might be fun for you to do. I give this to some of my students every once in a while. So those of you who are my students are going to know this when I get to it. But those of you who don't, it's going to be fun to do. So anyway, I'm Tony, Six String Corner. I do have a YouTube channel. So if you're ever on YouTube, look for it. I got a gazillion stuff. I got all kinds of videos on how to play stuff, fun stuff. For whatever reason, I can't imagine why I have a lot of Rush tunes on there. Maybe it's because I'm in a tribute band. I don't know. Rush tribute band. Got a lot of Eagles stuff, Zeppelin stuff, a lot of classic rock things on there, but also, just how to play the thing or how to do the thing. So check out the YouTube channel. If you're not on YouTube, you might be on YouTube and who is this guy? So, I got a whole bunch of things on there that'll help out. And I got more things coming up. I got things planned. It's all written down in my handy dandy notepad. Awesome. Love that. So anyway, down below in the description, whether you're on Facebook or you're on YouTube, in the description, I have 2 things on there. One of the, well, actually, no, I think I just got one thing in there. I got the guitar finger gymnastics. That's one thing you're going to need. Guitar finger gymnastics. This is about getting the fingers warmed up. This is all about what I'm talking about today. And really, we're not going to spend a lot of time on this today because it really comes down to just a few basic things. This isn't rocket science. What this is your determination, and you're willing to practice, and you're willing to be the best player that you feel you want to be. Not a superstar, or maybe it is a superstar, but if it's not a superstar, just so you can play. I just want to play these songs, right? I just want to do it. That's all. So whatever your goals are, you have to decide that that's what you want to do, and you have to be willing to put some time into it. It's not just going to magically happen. So anybody out there who's telling you, hey, you're going to play, 50 million solos in 2 days, it's just not going to happen. Or if you do it, you do it. Oh boy, man, that's a bad word. Do. Cut that out. If you do play it, so we want to be able to get some fundamentals so that you sound good when you play it. So you actually have some idea of what this thing called the guitar is. And what I just played there at the beginning of this video was just blues. And blues is a great start, by the way. So we're going to tackle that soon. Not today, but we're going to tackle some blues guitar that is great. I mean, if you really want to play, start there. That's a great place to start. It's where I started, and that's kind of where I think that probably you should start. You may not like the blues, but hey, it's there for you. So anyway, so guitar finger gymnastics, just a bunch of exercises, coordination, dexterity. There's this whole set of videos that are in there. And as a matter of fact, through the power of internet, it's right here. So you have, I got a little thing here. It's got chromatic warm-up, diagonals, finger crawl, alternate chromatic fingering, and stretching. I know those are fancy words, but those are all different videos that they're free. This thing doesn't cost you a dime. So you just get in here and, you might be able to develop some of this and become a good player, a better player than you are now. Maybe you are a good player. You could be a better player. And I think that this is something that it definitely could help you out. So anyway, be sure to check that out. It's in the link below on both screens there. And I'll, if it's not there already, I want to make sure it'll be there in a little bit. All right, cool. All right, so let's get off of this and get down to it. So guitar technique. So what we're looking at here is making sure that our, when we play lead and sort of lead, we want to make sure that our fingers and our hand are all in the right places. There's things called finger positioning. So, there are always variations on what I'm going to tell you. Because everybody has their own way to do stuff. And what we're going to do here, I'm just going to show you is just some fundamentals on how to hold the neck. These are actually things that probably go beyond the guitar even, and how to hold the neck and how to put your hand on the notes, and to be aware of finger positioning. Okay, so we get down to basic stuff here, and then next week I got some cool stuff. So anyway, so what we want to do is what happens behind the scenes. I know I've talked about this before if you've been following me, but it still applies and it bears repeating that, how your thumb and your wrist is positioned behind that neck matters everything to how well you're going to play lead. You don't want to be moving your thumb and you moving your hand and doing all kinds of stuff trying to play and have all this kind of motion trying to play a lead. And if you really sometimes if you think you might be guilty of that, it's really interesting. Just look at yourself in the mirror or video it off the phone. I mean, it's interesting. And I see it all the time. I see it now because I can see myself on the screen here. But I mean, it's amazing what how much motion you might have. So what I'm all about typically is I want to have what's called economy of motion. And I want to be able to, play stuff where I'm not moving and flopping around my wrist and my thumb when I'm playing any not just lead, it's anything. That's kind of what I'm all about. That's kind of what I prefer. But so how we hold our thumb and our wrist when we're playing matters a lot. So there's different variations here, and I'm not going to be able to cover all of this in one lesson today. But being aware of where your thumb is at and where your wrist is a great start. I know we want to talk about the fingers. Well, yes, but behind the scenes matters, because if you don't got this right, this isn't going to work well. All right. You got to set your fingers up for success. And if you don't set your fingers up for success, it ain't going to work. So what are things that we're talking about? So I'll give you some don'ts and then some do's. All right. So we're going to start with the bad, what not to do. With the wrist, what we don't want to be doing is like having, you can see that here. We want to have this. I see a lot of wrists up like this. Or we might be moving our arm and twisting it in and trying to play all kinds of crazy directions and like this. We want to be sure that our wrist is, it's either going to be somewhat up here where it's going to be flat, depending on the note on the solo we're playing. Let's see. There you go. You can see that. So where the solo that we're playing, or it's going to be down like this. If you saw when I was playing that lead stuff at the beginning. See where my wrist is kind of low down here. So when we do that, and we're going to get to scales next week, and I think that's going to help you a little bit. Actually, we're going to get a little bit of scales today. Keeping in mind on where that wrist is, and not bringing it up and bringing your elbow in and your elbow out. All right, you want to set yourself up for success. So the wrist will either be really bent like this, or it's going to be somewhat flat depending on how your thumb is positioned. Oh yes, here's the thumb. So now the thumb, this is where I often see the biggest guilty thing. And I'm going to turn around. So forgive me. You're going to see the back side here because this is important. So the thumb, there's going to be different positionings for the thumb depending on what solo, what lead line, actually what chord you're playing. And, what the don'ts, we don't want to be having the thumb doing stuff like this. This is called collapsed thumb, or pressing in like this. Or if you are playing lead, moving around just a lot, like excessively. There will be times you're going to move, but you're going to generally, I find that when I'm soloing, I'm only moving it to a couple of positions. I might be down like this and up like this, but I'm not flopping around every time I'm playing a note. Okay, so you want to try and keep it as steady as you can. So like when I'm playing a lead, a lot of times with lead, not all the time, but many times when I'm playing like blues stuff and classic rock stuff, my thumb is hovering. I'm anchoring, not anchoring. What's the word I'm trying to think of here? I'm just going around the back of the neck with the thumb like this, and you'll see the thumb up on the top, right here. So so I'm using that for anchoring. Yes, that is the right word for anchoring here, especially when I grab the neck like this, because if I'm doing bends and stuff like that, I need some anchoring point to hold on to. Okay, especially when you're doing vibratos and string bends, you want to be able to grab in the neck here, and you're just doing a twist of the wrist. And again, that comes down to the wrist too. We're going to be twisting, we're going to be moving the wrist around when we're trying to play. So you want to watch how that wrist is when you're, if you're doing like string bends or you're doing vibratos. You want a good anchoring point. So where that thumb is positioned matters. Now, there's times I'm also going to have the thumb down here. Right. So if I'm playing a lick, like, if I'm doing. Okay. You can see how I'm playing some of these lines. Kind of just one, but it's more of a steady motion. I'm not flopping all over the place. Okay. So where the thumb and where the wrist are at matter a lot to when you're playing lead guitar. So don't forget that. Keep that in mind when you're playing. You want to be able to have a good wrist and thumb in position. Now, the other thing is then we get to the front, this is where the fun is, right? Where the fingers are at. We got to be careful with how we're playing our notes. I'm sorry, not how, where we're playing our notes. So I kind of messed that one up a little bit. Where we're playing our notes. So, when we press down on a note on a string on a fretboard, press down on the string on a fret. Let me say that correctly. When we press a note down on the fret, we have to be careful of where we're playing relative to the fret wire. These little metal things are called fret wires, in case you didn't know that. Many of you probably know that, but if you didn't, congratulations, you've just been educated. So now, if you're going to play this, the notes always sound better they always sound clear when we're on the bridge side of that neck. So especially when we're doing single note stuff. Whenever we're playing, we always want to make sure that our fingers, tips of our fingers, when I say tips, I mean right, looking on the screen here, yeah, somewhere right there. So we want to make sure that we're using as much of the tip of the fingers as we can. And we want to be having, especially when we're doing single note stuff, that we're closest to this fret wire. You never want to play on it, but unless you're playing slide guitar. But that's not today's lesson. But you want to be at least close to the fret wire when you're playing all your individual notes like that. So all right, see where I'm playing there? Everything is close to that fret wire when we're playing individual notes. So that is in itself really cool, right? So that'll make your notes sound nice and clear. If you have your thumb and your wrist in a good spot, you're going to play, put your fingers close to here. And you want to use your ring finger. Yeah, I'm sorry, your ring finger. The tips of your fingers as best as you can, as much as you can right here, so that when you play your notes, okay, you're just playing those notes and you're not moving. If you use too much of the finger or you're not enough, it's either gonna fall off the string, or it's going to be too far up and you're going to hit other strings, and it's just going to be a hot mess. So you want to be able to play this so that all right, so then that's just generally where you want to play. You just want to play close to that fret wire and using the tips of your fingers as best you can, whether you're robbing the neck like this or you're going like this with your hand. Whether your wrist is down, whether your wrist is up, we're doing single note stuff. Now, there's times you're not going to be doing single stuff, and then it's just like you're playing chords. Right? So then you can use the flat of the fingers. So where those fingers are at on the fret matters. It really does. It's a huge deal. So that all being said, I'm going to give you a scale. Okay. You may know this already. If you do, great. Just humor me, but you may not. But regardless, let's go. Just kind of humor me here. You could insert scale. If you're working on another type of scale, insert that into this blank that I'm going to fill in right now for you. So what I was playing in that blues lick that I was doing opening this video was I was playing predominantly I was playing the E minor pentatonic scale. All right, so that was the scale that I was using, and I was playing that all over the neck, and just because this track that I was using said blues backing track in E minor, so I played it in E minor. I played E minor pentatonic scale is what I wanted to play. I could play the E minor scale too. In fact, I think a little bit I did, but what I'm going to show you here is we're just going to get really super basic. You can expand this out as much as you want, all right? But I'm going to give you one. It's usually one of the first ones most people learn. So if you haven't learned it, here it is. If you have learned it, here it is still, because there's something I'm going to want you to do, even if you've been playing lead guitar for a little while. It's going to be really cool. So here's the scale. Let me share the screen really quick with you. I'll show you what I am talking about. Is this one right here? Okay. So this here is the E minor pentatonic scale. Many of you have seen this. Many of you have used it. Anyway, this is it. This is at the end of this. This is at the end of the guitar. This right here is, so you can see it there, is right over here. Okay. Oh, if you're on Instagram, you don't got this. I'll put this down in my comments there. So the pentatonic scale is right here. It's going to be played like this. All right, so when you see that, those threes right here, okay, that's your ring finger. Honestly, you can use a ring finger for all of these. I can just grab this off of somewhere, so you can just use the ring finger and all of this. In fact, you probably have a good idea. So if you already know it, great. So just bear with me for the next couple of minutes. When you play this, okay, when you play this scale, okay, your thumb is going to be up grabbing the back of the neck. Wait, where is it? There it is, right there. Okay, we're going to grab the back of the neck like that. And then we're just going to simply go right down. These zeros here mean you're going to play the open string, right? So you're just going to go bottom up, bum, 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 right, to the open string, just the way I just did it, like that. This is the 3rd fret, this is the 2nd fret, this is the 1st fret, and all of these are open. So we always take the note to the open string, note to the open string, note to the open string, and so forth. Okay, so this is just one part of the E minor pentatonic scale that we're gonna look at here, right? So again, like I said, making sure that you're all right. I'm watching where my neck, where my thumb is at. I'm kind of pretty much staying in the same place. My hand isn't moving. I'm not flopping around. I'm not moving my wrist around or moving my elbow around, anything like that. If you notice, if you see my wrist here, good angle. Look at the screen here. Yeah, we're kind of down, not super low, but we're not bending it up. That's just, you definitely don't want to do this. This is really going to make you not be a good player. So make sure that your wrist is kind of loose and is, the wrist definitely should be hovering below the bottom of this neck right here. That's generally, you want to at least be that, sometimes lower depending on what you're playing. But in this lick here, you want it up here, just like that. All right. Now, so all these things that I just told you about watching with your thumb, watching where your wrist is, and also using the tips of your fingers as best you can. When I say tips, not the top tips, but sort of like a little over from over. Let me see there. You can see that. So not this part here, the tip part, we're going to go down a little bit. So we want to use those parts of the finger as we go down and we go back up again. All right. Now, so that's the scale. That's what we want to use. We want to go with this. We want to use this scale right here. All right. So we're going to do that. Now I've brought in what's called a blues backing track in E minor. You can go on YouTube and find any backing track. So as long as it's in E minor, okay, just say backing track E minor. That's it. Or search E minor pentatonic backing track. I'll just E minor pentatonic scale and then add the word backing track. And what you're going to get is you're going to get a whole bunch of backing tracks. People all over the world have been making a bunch of these. Some aren't good as others. Find one that you like, but as long as it's in E minor, all right, E minor, it must be in E minor for this to work. All right. So now what you're going to do in order to practice this scale or any scale, and again, like I said, insert scale. If you're practicing C major or you're practicing the E harmonic minor, find a backing track. There's a backing track for it. All right. And this will allow you to practice to it, just practicing the scale. If you're just learning the scale, right? So, so in this track that I've got, I'm going to show you what we're going to do. You can just, even if you've never played the guitar ever in your whole entire life, what you can do here is take this scale right here and just go up and down on these strings while this track is going. And then you might find yourself getting a little venturesome and you can mix it up a little bit. All right. So let me show you. All right. So I'm going to just get this myself set up. All right. So here we go. Get this start out, then count you out, blah, blah. That's too fast for you? Slow it down. See what I'm doing there? All I'm doing is just going up and down the scale. This is the best way to practice it. I think practicing scales anyway is just to throw on a backing track that relates to whatever scale you're working on, right? And what you can do with this is it's so slow and it's just this one right here. We're not doing anything else. We're just doing this scale. And all we're doing there is just going up and down the neck, and you just practice your scale and listen to it and try and see if you can even play in time with it. That would, I mean, just don't worry about screwing up. You're going to, look, I got news for you. You're going to screw up. You will. So just get that out of the way. And just got news for you. Every guitar player from the beginner all the way to Joe Satriani, yes, they have screwed up. And they would tell you that. They've messed up. It happens. This stuff happens, right? Don't worry about that. That should be not your consideration at all. What you want to do is just plow through it. Take this track. This track here is what? 14 minutes. Take the full 14 minutes. It'll be a great practice session. And you're practicing this one E minor pentatonic scale. Now, if you got a whole set of scales, because there's definitely more to this scale than what we're showing here, then do more, right? I mean, do the whole thing. And just, if you're practicing that scale, just go back and forth. Watching, and the reason I like this one here is it's slower. You don't want to do anything too fast. You want something slow so you can pay attention to your technique. How's my wrist working, right? How's my thumb looking? Am I flopping around a little bit? Stop for a minute and just kind of reset yourself and play. And just go up and down that scale. And then you can get, and again, if you're just at the beginning of beginners, you can take this and just then start just playing the notes in different orders. Just this. This is it. This is all you do, right? So let me get back to the track here. Right? Just stuff like this. Don't hesitate to hit a note twice or 3 times. Right? Just stuff like that. I mean, so, and just go along with that and watch your technique. And this is a great little start to it, to getting you to how to play lead guitar. And we're just making stuff up. We're not actually playing riffs, actual songs. This will get you familiar with how to play lead guitar and to keep an eye on your technique and making sure that your technique is good and that it's sound. And that's where this starts. Okay, so next week, we're going to do a little more on the scales, right? We're going to kind of expand upon this topic here. What else do I got here? Yeah, we're going to go a little more on a different pentatonic pattern. Yeah, that's what I got notes here. I actually took notes. How about that? I took a note. Took notes here on what to do. So, so there's your take home right there. So if you want to know what the backing track was that I used, if that interests you, I don't know if I can do this here. Let's see if I can do this on my, sorry, there you go. All right, so I got it on my YouTube, and all right, so it's in both. It's in a comment. I put it on the Facebook and the YouTube. On Instagram, I could put a link there, but you can't click it. Just go to E minor pentatonic backing track, and just go ahead and select that. So, and of course, now for everybody who's watching afterwards, you're going to see it in the description below. That's the one that I use. You don't have to use that one. I'm just saying, give you an example for E minor pentatonic scale. I'll also put this little diagram if you want it. I'll put it in there as well. And then, you know, go from there and just have fun with this. The bottom line is having fun with it. This is the fun about playing guitar, right? So anyway, that's about it. And thanks for showing up. Thank you for all those of you who were out there watching this afterwards. I appreciate you stopping on by. And hope you got something more out of this. I'll be back next Wednesday, same time. And we're going to continue on this little topic on how to play lead guitar. And yes, it is going to get more fancy as we move along the line. So anyway, I'm just going to close this out, do a little bit of jamming, and then I'm going to sign out. So, hey, you all have a great, great, great day. See you later.